Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Vegan-ish. I am your host, Dr. Monique. I'm a board-certified family physician known as a physician in the kitchen, and I help busy households just like yours enjoy healthy eating without impacting their hectic schedules. Guys, we kind of threw you for a little loop this week. We're coming to you live on Thursday versus our normal time on Tuesday, but that's okay. A little variety, variety is the spice of life. And that means we're just one little tiny week away from Thanksgiving. 1 week from tonight, it's here. It's here. Game day is here. So hopefully you all watching this will be able to spend time with friends, loved ones, take some downtime to relax before things really get crazy. So my co-host Ellis, he's going to be joining us shortly. He is the hardest working man here at blackdoctor.org. So he will be joining us shortly. So guys, please come on in, settle down. Let's fellowship, as my grandmother would say. These next 30 minutes go by super fast. So go ahead and drop in the chat where you guys are watching us from. We love to know where you're from. We call it rep your city around here, right? Me, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm from the Bronx, New York. Been a little bit, various cities, Philadelphia, Chapel Hill, Memphis, families from Alabama. So I just love to see all those different area codes, zip codes, pop in and spend some time with us. So everybody's coming on in. So guys, be sure to also to tag friends. Let them know, come on in. We're going to talk about some things, right? We're on this vegan-ish journey where I bring you along and tell you kind of my triumphs, my challenges, and hopefully share some information that will help you and others. So I see Tasha is watching from Charlotte. Why, it's my girl. Thank you so much. I see Jersey's in the house, Blackstone, Virginia. Los Angeles, California. Okay. So thank you. Because what time is it? 5 o'clock there. So thank you for tuning in from the left coast. I see Detroit. I have family there. So all over. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And be sure to tag your friends, tell them to watch this. And if you're catching this on the replay, please let us know you were here by dropping that hashtag replay. And thank you. Thank you so much for spending any amount of time with us. So we really appreciate it. Well, we're going to kind of get right into it. So last week we talked about, there he is. He made it.
I made it. Oh my goodness. It was crazy. I'm sitting there, I was like, all right, so as you're right, I am the hardest working man. I'm the James Brown of Black Doctor. And so I was producing another show. And so I got done with that show and I jumped into the studio and then you see the dreaded
countdown,
the circles.
The circle of death. Yes,
the circle of death. And I was like, this is not well. And then you started going live, and I was like, wait, live. So it's all good.
You stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
How about that? So I'm happy to be here. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to everybody that's dropping their city. Rep your city, please. In the comment section, we love it. We love it. So we need to get those tips. When I saw the show, I was like, I got to get them tips because I'm stressed out. I'm not gonna lie, and it's just not even. We haven't hit Thanksgiving yet, and I'm already stressed out.
I was talking with one of my colleagues today. We have to do a presentation at work we do these culture talks, and so we we're kind of brainstorming on what we're going to do, and we came up with the topic of how to get through the holidays. And when I said it, I said, wait a minute. You get through a pap smear, or you get through a root canal, or you get through, jury duty. The holidays are supposed to be a time to enjoy and relax. So we're going to base our talk on kind of changing that mind frame of how to survive and actually, how to thrive and survive the holidays. So start, turn that kind of negative connotation around a little bit, and hopefully, get us through the other side. So yes, you're right, Ellis. Tonight we're going to talk about some tips on how to just kind of not go crazy during this holiday season. And like I said, we're just 1 week out. So time is a little short, but it's not too late. It's totally not too late. And yes, if you guys are stressing out, drop in the chat what is stressing you out during the holiday. Like, what is it the most? Is it, because now we've got COVID, right? So as if it wasn't enough, we've got this layer of a pandemic. But is it your family coming over? Is it your hypercritical mother-in-law? Is it your, your hypercritical kids? My son told me, we were talking about the menu, and my mother has him spoiled. His grandmother has him spoiled, and she does a ham every year. So I told him I was going to make some vegan options, and he goes, as long as you don't mess with the ham, I'm good. He said, as long as the ham is real. That's what he said. As long as the ham is real, I'm good. So, you might be getting it from your in-laws, your children, So what are some of the things that stress you guys out? And hopefully you'll be able to pick up some pointers on how to alleviate that. So just first and foremost, have a plan. Right, we've talked about mindset so many times, and anytime if you tune in, if this is our fifth, sixth episode, I'm starting to sound like a broken record because every week I mention something about mindset. So that tells you how important it is. Have a plan. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Maybe not the best simile or metaphor in this moment.
Especially on the veganist show.
Right. But what does that come from? When I was little, I used to laugh. My uncle Paul used to say this thing, and I don't think he created it, but he was the first one I heard say it. And it said, if you don't plan to fail, if you don't fail, I'm totally messing up.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
So I really thought, for some reason, as a kid, when you're a kid, everything is funny. But the older I got, I really started to appreciate that. Because if you don't plan, you are more likely to fail when you're flying by the seat of your pants. So what do we mean by planning? First of all, obviously your menu, your budget, right? Mm-hmm. Don't go shopping just because you're out the store, especially not on an empty stomach, right? Because you may end up leaving with more stuff than you really wanted and not the best stuff. So map out what you're making, have a plan, have a menu. One thing, I don't know, my mom, I love her to death, and I don't know if she's watching right now, but she has this thing about we have to have like 4 meats. Who wants to do all that cooking? I know I don't. So it's okay to just have 1 meat. Ellis is like, I'm coming over. That's a lot of work, which translates to a lot of stress, right? So just try something a little different. Have just one protein. Focus on that one protein. If it's the turkey, if it's a vegan option, and really take time to cultivate and enjoy your sides, because that's going to be a great way to introduce more plant-based sources, right? If you're trying to add some more sources or some more plant-based sources of options, then try that. So have a budget, have a plan. Don't go shopping on an empty stomach, and really just, it's okay to just have 1 or maybe two meats or proteins. The other thing I recommend is start now. Don't wait till and I'm sure most people don't do this, but some do. Even if you start just right now, tonight, and make 1 dish that you can freeze. If your macaroni and cheese is the bomb.com, go ahead and make it now. I've got some oxtails, because I have Southern parents.
Say that out loud. Say that. I've got some oxtails.
You're not for me, okay? Y'all. Well, you know what? One thing about my show is we are transparent here. So yes, there are oxtails in my house. I won't be partaking. My dad, if you try to take an oxtail from him, it's not going to be pretty. So we tend to save it for special occasions like the holidays. We're not eating oxtails every week. The prices of them have gone ridiculously. So it's kind of like a caviar almost. So yes. But my point in bringing that up is to mention that I'm going to go ahead and make mine tonight or tomorrow. Cook them, let them freeze them, and then that's one thing off the list, because I have a list of things I have to contribute. Mm-hmm. And so why not start now? So is anybody commenting? We're going to get to some of these comments about, we asked about stress levels, uncomfortable that a lot of family isn't vaccinated. Yes, that would definitely add to a stress level. People are making decisions for themselves on whether or not to get vaccinated. And then we all have to make the best decisions for ourselves, right? So I wish you well navigating that topic. So yeah. So speaking of kind of making things ahead, don't be afraid to outsource. I just discovered Instacart. I know.
What? Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I was almost today years old when I discovered Instacart. And because I'm really picky, when I go to the grocery store, I like to, touch and feel and all that. And so, you have to kind of relinquish some of that. You have to kind of let some of that go. You give with Instacart, of course, you can give them nice instructions and so forth. And for the most part, they do a good job. Every now and then I'm like, really? But for the most part, I'm good. I'm happy. So yes, Instacart, Uber Eats. Don't be afraid to list some of these services that have kind of really taken off because of the pandemic. Still use them for good, right?
Hey,
Use
Doc, cover your ears right quick.
oh,
Cover your ears real quick. They got services for alcohol delivery too. So if you got like to get a little drink, you can go and get your alcohol brought to the house.
no,
I'm just, you know,
it's actually funny you said that. Alcohol is one of the things on my list, so it's okay. Alcohol is okay.
okay,
Depending on what it is, it may be vegan, right? So hey,
right? We did. Yeah, you're right.
hey. So, but yeah, outsourcing from some of these services, or having a family potluck. But you got to be careful now because we know everybody's
Ooh,
ministry is not clean kitchens and it's not seasoned food. So you want to be sure who you're putting in charge of what. And I'm just
right.
going to say
Know the source. Know the
know
source.
the source. Just like the news, know your source.
Know your source.
But it can be a wonderful way to
Mhm.
to pass on traditions, to really cement and seal in that just warm and fuzzy feeling that we get with the holidays. So definitely, keep that in mind. And speaking of wine, so Ellis mentioned wine. One of the tips I wanted to share was, especially if you're hosting, don't be afraid to look at things like boxed wines or shopping for your alcohol at a discount warehouse, alcohol warehouse type thing.
Mhm.
But even like boxed wine, and I actually have had a very good boxed wine. I don't remember the brand, but when you compare per bottle, when you break it down, box wines work out to be about maybe $5 per bottle versus, of course, it may be much more expensive than that. So give that a thought. Box wines have come a long way. I remember they used to kind of have this badge of shame.
The technology has gotten better, and I would
The
say
blow
that
up is real.
if you're
Yeah,
going to have a lot of people, if there's going to be a lot of people in the home drinking wine, box might be the way to go because it can get real expensive popping all those wine bottles because a typical wine bottle might have 4 glasses in it, depending on how
exactly.
heavy your pour is. So if
Exactly.
you're talking about having 12 people over, you're at 1 glass, that's 3 bottles. So that could add up very, very quickly because most people don't just drink 1 glass, especially with a dinner like Thanksgiving. So a box wine is going to be more economical. And as Dr. Monique is saying, they've gotten better with the technology. So the flavor is nominal. And you're going to be eating food and fellowshipping. So it's not a sipping wine session anyway. It's just kind of nice. It's a glass in your hand. So
Exactly.
save some money, get the box this time. And then if you want to get the more pricier wine when you have a smaller party, do that.
I agree. So, you guys that are watching, if you're just joining, I'm Dr. Monique. Welcome to Veganish. We're on here talking about ways and tips and tricks to not stress out during this holiday season. If you're already in the chat, please let us know. Give us what are your time saving or stress saving hacks that have worked for you and help you really enjoy your holiday versus it's being something to get through. We want to learn some things here. So let's share our successful tips. And just lastly, speaking of everyone, we associate Thanksgiving with turkeys. So if you are serving turkeys or serving turkey, you want to save money, look at getting a frozen turkey versus fresh. Those can be more economical. A lot of grocery stores also, when you buy, a certain amount of groceries, they give you the turkey at a discounted price. So things like that. And then don't forget to leave yourself time to defrost that turkey safely, right? Which is not just sitting on your countertop, but you want to allow about five a day per 4 to 5 pounds.
Yep.
So that's the rough rule of thumb on how so a 20-pound turkey would take you about 4 or 5 days to defrost. So to thaw out. So, all right. So
Especially if you just for those of you that want to experiment with frying that turkey, that ice pocket, that if you don't thaw it out properly, that little piece of ice inside, that's how houses get burnt down and people get because it hits that high grease and then that's when it has an explosion. So you have to be very, very careful if you're going to fry your turkey this year about to make sure your turkey is fully and completely thawed inside and out.
That is excellent, excellent advice. I know I don't normally, advertise for them. I'm not a paid endorser, but I live right down the street from a Bojangles. Heard that their fried turkeys are the bomb, so that might be one of those things outsourced for time and safety reasons, right? So I don't know, but Maurice said that he likes to meal prep and eat before you arrive and bring your own meals. Say that again for the people in the back, Mr. Ellis, because I'm surrounded by Ellises. I love it. I love it. For those of you who don't know, my son's middle name is Ellis, and so when I first started working with this Ellis, I was like, I know this is going to be a good partnership. So yes, Maurice Ellis says that he meal preps, eats before he arrives, and takes his own food. So that's a wonderful thing. I've heard stories of even vegan people who take vegan dishes to the family cookout or family gatherings, and
Right.
oftentimes their dish, people are like, if you don't tell them what it is and they just eat it up, then on the back end you can say, well, that was actually vegan, and they'd be coming back for more for that. So definitely, and eating before you go is it's a wonderful way to not eat everything, right? Because you
And
get to
not overeat. So here's a
and not
tip that
overeat,
I heard
exactly.
that, and I wondered. I was like, when I heard this tip, I was like, I got to bring it for the show. Eat a salad before your meal, and whether it's kale or have a salad that's rich in nutrients, got the whole rainbow. When we talked about, remember on the previous show, we talked about eating the rainbow.
Mhm.
Eat that salad before you dive into the macaroni and cheese and rice and gravy and turkeys and all that other stuff. One, that'll cut off some of that hunger so you won't eat as much. And two, you'll get the nutrients before and then that you get a smaller portion size when you get the other ones because you've already started to fill up a little bit. So that first course, make it a really good healthy salad, and that'll help curb some of the heavy lifting on the other food courses that you eat.
I'm
Thanksgiving.
laughing, Alice, because if my mom is listening, she would throw her arms around your neck and give you a big old hug. Because I admit, I mock and ridicule her every year for a salad. Isn't that horrible? I don't know, but it's just something about Thanksgiving and salad. I'm just like, why are we doing this? But my mother will have her salad on the table every year, so I got to
Mhm.
make sure she sees that. And the other thing I want to just comment too is water. Hydrate.
Yes.
A lot of times we mistake thirst for hunger, and so our body, there you go. Our body is really telling us that we're starting to get a little dehydrated, but
Hmm.
we mistakenly think that we're hungry. And by the time we actually realize that we're thirsty, where you get the little, dry mouth and we
Hmm.
really like, I really need something to drink. You're already probably about 10% dehydrated at that point.
Yep.
So drink a glass of water, about 8 ounces or so of water, and wait about 15, 20 minutes. What that does is your brain, you have baroreceptors basically that communicate between your brain and your stomach, and you give that time to kind of work its way up and say, wait a minute, I'm not hungry. Let me, pump my brakes. So those are just things you can do, cues as well. I
Hmm.
read something about where you eat, eat away or kind of meet away from the food so that, like you said before, you have time, you're actually engaging in the conversation and
Hmm.
enjoying the conversation versus everything just being centered around what's going on the table. So lots of different things. So, Ellis, this is the fastest 30 minutes of my week. I do Peloton almost every day, and I promise you,
Ooh, that's a slow 30 minutes.
that's the slowest 30 minutes. I have to check I want to tap and be like, is this thing on?
You're like,
So that's the slowest. This is the fastest.
this is the
So
fast.
it's time for probably my favorite segment of this show, vegan or not. Okay, so we've covered a lot of stuff in the past weeks, and so every week I'm challenged to come up with stuff for you guys. So I've got three for you this week. So we're gonna jump right in. We've talked about wine, and on the previous show whether it was vegan or not. So this week, what about beer? We're about to get
Ooh,
together. It's football season. I know y'all are, throwing them back. Is beer vegan?
ooh. That's a good one. That's a good one.
You guys put in the chat what you think. If you say it's not, if your vote is nah, then you gotta tell us why. What makes it not vegan? So Mr. Ellis says it is vegan. Okay, that's one vote.
I'm I think I'm gonna side with my namesake. I'm gonna side with my namesake.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it is vegan. Cause I'm trying to think about the process that they go through to make it, and I don't, you know,
That's where we found out about wine, right? Because you think wine is made from grapes. Of course it's vegan, but we
right?
learned before a few weeks ago that actually the processing of wine sometimes involves animal protein, fish bladders and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not always vegan. So what you guys think? You any takers? We're gonna let them give them a couple more seconds and put their votes in for beer because I like to talk about if it's not vegan, we'll talk about that. But if it is vegan, what are some of the other things you need to think about though too? So it looks like we're gonna go with the vegan, and you're right. Beer is vegan. The thing that some people have to that's right, gold star. What you have to think about is it gluten free? So
Mm.
there's a lot of terms. It's vegan, organic, gluten-free, paleo. I mean, there's all these terms floating around. It can get really confusing. So I like to use this example that it is vegan. However, beer is often made from wheat, barley, rye,
Oh
all
yeah.
of which contain gluten. And so for people who have celiac disease, which is a severe form of gluten sensitivity, or even just a milder form of gluten intolerance, that can cause some stomach upset, rashes, things like that. So want to look for beers that are gluten free. But yes,
Mhm.
beer is vegan. All right. Let's see. What about pasta? Is pasta vegan? Pasta can be it's a easy, we talk about simple ways to get good nutritious meals on the table. I mean, pasta doesn't really get much more simpler, right? Boil some water, throw some pasta in there, add your protein, your
Mhm.
vegetables. But is pasta itself vegan?
I'm gonna wait for some answers because I have my thoughts, but I'm gonna wait for some answers
Okay.
on the pasta. So y'all let us know, is pasta vegan or not?
And remember, if you say it's not, you got to say why.
You gotta say why.
We got to come up with our own music. We got to
We
get a
do. I had the Jeopardy thing, and then I was like, I realized that was going to be a copyright situation. And
exactly,
I was going to get dinged on YouTube. So
exactly,
we'll get our own, and we'll have a nice little.
exactly. You,
We'll have our
you,
graphic on Tuesday. We'll make sure we have it for Tuesday. We'll have a
okay.
nice little
All right.
graphic.
So Valerie said pasta is vegan. She put her foot on it. She's confident. That's right. That's right. Tasha says it depends on if you use butter. It's a good point. That's a very good
I'm going
point.
to say no. I'm going to say it's not vegan. I'm going to give it a nah. And here's
Okay.
my reasoning: because pasta has eggs, I believe, in it as part of the creation process, and so when it has eggs, that means it is not vegan.
What he said. That's it. That is it. Fresh pasta, if it's made using eggs, um, is not vegan. But we all know, right, that we can use. I'm a kitchen gadget junkie, and I have this thing, but I've never used it. I am going to use it one day. But the spiralizer, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can take zucchini, you can take squash, you can take different things and spiralize them into little, pasta like shapes.
Yeah.
And, so you get that feeling that you're eating pasta, but it's really vegetables. But then there are also pastas that are made out of legumes now. So pasta is, has come a long way. But
Yeah.
yes, so the key there is it depends. So very good. Um,
Does box pasta have eggs? I think so. What the box pasta is? They just dry it. Uh,
Probably. You'd
yeah.
have to read, definitely, read the ingredients. But yeah, mass production eggs are stabilizers, they're
Mhm.
binders. So I would imagine that they are used for the shape and stability of it. So all right, and this last one may be a little kind of esoteric, but I said I'll throw it out there, see what they say. Lemon curd. People are like, what the heck is lemon curd?
What
Now,
is lemon curd?
the lemon curd is like it's used in things like lemon pies, lemon fillings. It's basically like it's lemon filling, lemon filling.
Okay.
So, and it can be used in a variety of things, tarts and pies and cookies and things like that, cakes. Um, so is lemon curd vegan or not? You guys know I like to throw curveballs at
I
you.
know, yeah, like you really tested my culinary skills right now. I'm just, just like, okay, lemon curd, vegan or nah? Y'all help me out here. Go this one. This is a tricky one. Okay, Valerie, Tashi Grant, come on now, y'all help me out. Maurice,
Right, where y'all at? Y'all don't let them just twist to the wind.
look, they over there probably googling right now.
I know, right?
All right, I'm going to say nah,
Okay.
and my reasoning for nah uh, is it feels like curds have some sort of binding agent. Because I'm thinking about like a cheese, curds is how they make cheese, and it has milk and eggs, and I think it definitely has some eggs in it. I would say eggs over milk in terms of lemon curd. So I would say nah because I think there has some sort of non-vegan binding agent included.
Okay. Tasha said no, she thinks it's made with eggs. Okay. We've
Mhm.
got a vote for Mr. Ellis says, I don't know, nah.
When in doubt, vote nah.
That's right. That's right. It's like a school test where if you don't know the answer to multiple choice, the answer is always C, right?
Yes.
So, well, all right, you guys are, man, I can't stump you guys. You on fire tonight, just blazing. Yes, it is made with eggs. And I share this with you guys because I was shocked. I love lemon. That's just my favorite
Mhm.
flavor. And when I started on this vegan journey, I was like, oh, I can make because you don't have to give up desserts just because you're vegan. The cool thing, in fact, is finding alternate ways and substitutes to make the same desserts that you know and love. So I was making something. I think it was I don't know, might have been like a lemon pie or lemon cheesecake or something. And I was like, oh, lemon curd. And I just happened to read the back of the bottle and it said eggs. And I was like, what? So, and you're absolutely right. It's a binder. And so just again, I just like to, call these things to your attention to just remind you that, just be aware, read your labels, be educated, be informed,
Yeah.
and just make sure because some things that you may not expect to have vegan, or excuse me, non-vegan or animal proteins in it just might. So it's good to just kind of brush up on read that label. And again, my rule, if it's more than like 5 ingredients in that label, on the back of that ingredient label, you probably don't need it anyway. So unless those 5 ingredients are all different types of fruits and vegetables.
Absolutely. So and the thing is, remember we're vegan-ish and we're flexitarian here on the show, and so what's important is that we need to get closer to a more plant-based diet. And so this is a journey, right? So we started several weeks ago on this plant-based journey. We've gotten better. I've lost some weight in terms of as a result of this journey that we've been on, and found different ways to incorporate vegetables. And so that's what we're here typically on Tuesday. Tonight is a special night, but typically on Tuesday to kind of give you more ways. Because I think that's been the struggle for a lot of us folks that weren't eating healthily. We just don't know how. Right. And so we go to what we always done. We go to what we've always known. And so we're here on this show to kind of give you motivation, give you support, and give you some other ways. And so I'm really excited about Tuesday's show, but we're going to talk about that later.
Well, they call it comfort food for a reason, right? Because it's comforting, right? And so,
Yes.
but yeah, so real quick, I just want to nutrition in the news. I came across it today. I said I love it. There's a study out of Tufts University where they looked at how many servings of fruits and vegetables you should get. Now, the study was actually done in lab animals and mice, but the interesting take-home point was that the more servings that they were fed, and it kind of goes without saying, the more the health benefits. So, they looked at 2 to 3 servings versus 5 or 6 versus 8 to 9. So what they think that's going to translate into is, hopefully changing some of our recommendations because the average American maybe gets only about just under a cup to a cup and a half of fresh fruits and vegetables or fruits and vegetable servings per day. So definitely room for improvement there. And then they also looked at the role of things like vitamin C and vitamin E, vitamin D, zinc, selenium, things like that that help boost your immune system. So we know, we're coming into cold flu, COVID season. You want to do all you can, right, to boost your immune system naturally. So the study looks like it's showing that if you have a normal level of those nutrients or minerals, vitamins, then that's good. If you have a deficiency, you probably want to take some to get you up to a normal level. But taking more than the recommended amount, or if you're not deficient, is probably not helpful and actually can be harmful. So that was just kind of the quick take home there. And then they also mentioned things about fermented foods, and I don't always think about this, but fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi,
Mhm.
um, and kombucha, which is I think like a fermented tea,
Mhm.
those actually help battle inflammation by helping to promote the healthy bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, it's like the fermentation has bacteria. That's how they make
Mhm.
that's how they make beer. We talked about that earlier.
Right,
But
exactly.
beer is fermented, and so yeah, it's got some bacteria in there, and that's how
So
they.
that's a good thing to think about too. So yeah. So that's all I've got, Ellis. I have enjoyed it. You guys, please be sure to follow me on Instagram at Physician in the Kitchen. Do we want to tell them what we're going to hit and win on Tuesday? Is that you want
You
to?
ready? You ready? I feel like I need a drum roll or something like that. Okay, you ready?
Well, next week is Thanksgiving, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm actually gonna be at my kitchen next week. I gotta make sure it's clean and spotless, but I'm gonna be coming to you live from my kitchen, sharing with you my vegan mac and cheese recipe. So you guys will, yeah, we'll have a graphic for you to have the recipe. I'm gonna make a batch, and the magic of television, you'll get to see the finished product. And that's going to help me, right? Because that's one of the things I have to bring to Thanksgiving. So I already have my dish ready 2 days ahead of time. So there you
My
go.
family, look, and everybody's watching. I told them, I said, look, Tuesday we're gonna do this. She's gonna do this demo, the vegan mac and cheese. So everybody's like excited about it. So we're gonna do a nice, production about it because I think it'll be good, even if you don't do it this time, right? Because grandma coming over and she want her baked mac and cheese. People come over, they have some expectations, but I think, especially if you've got a lot of people coming over, make your traditional mac and cheese so everybody's happy. But I would say make a small dish of it and then start introducing it, right? And then, or another thing you could do is slowly reduce some of those non-vegan products, pull them out, right? Because I make mac and cheese with extra cheese. I put an andouille sausage
Butter,
in mine.
milk.
I'd have made lobster mac and cheese before. I've gone all the way. So
You go
start
hard
pulling
in
some
the
of those
paint, huh?
things. All right, we call it heart attack mac and cheese around here. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Pretty
yeah,
concerning. But yeah, no, for me, the mac and cheese has got to have that crust.
yeah.
I got to have just the right amount of that crust. So yeah, we're going to get into all of that next week.
Excited about that. So make sure you follow Doc at Physician in the Kitchen on social media. And you always make sure you're already following Black Doctor if you're watching this now. So make sure you follow blackdoctor.org on Facebook. And understand that on our Facebook page, we have I think it's called Foods. So there's a whole bunch of healthy recipes, vegan recipes there on blackdoctor.org. And you can also go to Dr. May's site, which is, I got it
Yes,
here.
so you go to Physician in the Kitchen, and then also I've got a blog with some recipes on drmoniquemay.com.
On the screen. So make sure. So there's a place where you can get some healthy recipes and then come here and we'll talk about it. We will see y'all Tuesday. So we'll be back on a regular time, Tuesday, 8 p.m. We'll see you there.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.